Welcome, listeners. Today, we're stepping into the extraordinary life of Miyamoto Musashi, perhaps the greatest swordsman Japan has ever known. His story is not just about swift blades and fierce duels, but also a tale of a life full of mystery and challenge. Musashi's legacy is unmatched, and even today, he is a symbol of courage and mastery.
Absolutely. We're about to explore the depths of Musashi's world. We'll talk about his greatest achievements, including the famous Book of Five Rings. And wait until you hear the legendary stories and intriguing battles that await us. It's sure to be a fascinating journey into the past.
Musashi's journey began in the spring of 1584, in the village of Miyamoto. It was here that he was born into a noble family, though his entry into the world was marked by tragedy. His mother passed away while giving birth to him. This noble lineage was an important part of his early identity. However, even without his mother, Musashi was set on a path that would soon bring him challenge and adventure.
Indeed, the influence of his father, Muni, was a significant part of Musashi's life. Muni was not just any warrior. He was a fierce fighter and well-regarded member of the Shinman clan. People knew him not only for his skills with the sword, but also for his proficiency in jujitsu and the use of the jita, a unique weapon. A famous duel in Kyoto established Muni as one of the finest warriors of his time, setting high expectations for young Musashi.
The relationship between Muni and Musashi was far from peaceful. As much as Muni wanted to pass down his extensive knowledge of combat and tactics, Musashi's stubborn nature often led to disagreements and tense moments. This strong-headedness clashed with his father's expectations, resulting in frequent arguments. Musashi, known for challenging authority, did not hesitate to voice his criticisms, aggravating his father's temper and making their relationship volatile.
The tension reached a peak when Musashi was 7 years old. After a violent altercation where Muni threw a knife at him, Musashi was forced to leave home, essentially disowned by his father. This marked the beginning of a pivotal journey for Musashi, one that would take him across the Kamasaka Pass to the quaint village of Hirafuku, where his uncle Doran lived. A former warrior turned Buddhist monk, Doran accepted Musashi into his home, providing him with a new family and a fresh start.
Life with Uncle Doran was quite different for Musashi. Doran was a former warrior who had become a Buddhist monk, focusing on a life of meditation and spiritual growth. Under his guidance, young Musashi learned to meditate and began to read. These skills gave him a peaceful foundation, though it didn't diminish his burning passion for martial arts, something he could not leave behind.
That's right. While he was grateful for the calm life with his uncle, Musashi's true calling lay with martial arts. He often retreated into the woods, sparring against the rough surfaces of pine trees. These sessions were not just about practice. They were his way of channeling his frustrations and anger, particularly those tied to his tumultuous past with his father. It was here that Musashi realized the depths of his passion for fighting.
Musashi's first real test of his skills came at the young age of 13. He encountered a seasoned warrior named Arima Kihei, who had issued a challenge to any local swordsman brave enough to face him. In a moment of boldness, Musashi accepted the challenge by leaving his name on the warrior's notice. Despite his young age, Musashi was determined to prove himself against a real opponent.
This confrontation with Arima Kihei is legendary for a reason. Kihei underestimated the young Musashi, seeing this duel as merely a lesson for a brash boy. But Musashi surprised everyone, attacking with a quarterstaff and catching Kihei completely off guard. Overpowering him with swift and decisive strikes, Musashi emerged victorious. This duel not only showcased his raw talent, but also marked the beginning of his journey as a renowned swordsman.
After his victory over Kihei, Musashi realized that his destiny awaited beyond the quiet village of Hirafuku. At 16, he left his uncle's home, embarking on a journey to find his own path in the world. His travels eventually led him back to his father, who had by this time aligned with a new lord. Musashi joined their campaign in Kyushu, eager to experience the realities of war and expand his mastery in combat.
Yes, joining his father's campaign was a vital step in Musashi's development as a warrior. Here, he participated in battles that honed his skills and tested his courage. Being in the midst of warfare allowed him to understand the chaos and strategy that combat entailed. But more importantly, it fueled his ambition and desire to become even greater, as Musashi was always striving to improve and learn from every experience.
After his success in the Kyushu campaign, Musashi's status as a formidable fighter began to rise. The campaign was a major accomplishment, seeing territories brought under control. With this victory, Musashi's father, Muni, decided to retire from active duty. This marked a significant change for Musashi. Although his father's retirement closed one chapter, it opened the door for Musashi to pursue his own path to greatness, driven by ambition and desire to surpass his father's achievements.
Inspired by his dreams of becoming a master swordsman, Musashi set his sights on carving a name for himself. He wasn't content just following his father's footsteps. He sought out the best to challenge and learn from. His ambitions led him to the Yoshioka clan, a prestigious school of swordsmanship. His decision to challenge them was bold. Taking on such an esteemed group meant risking everything but promised immense reward if he succeeded.
In the duels that followed, Musashi emerged victorious against both Seijuro and Denshichiro, members of the Yoshioka clan. These victories weren't just personal achievements, they were significant enough to shake the Yoshioka clan's standing. Musashi's tactics were swift and effective, leaving little chance for his opponents. Even when the Yoshioka tried to ambush him, Musashi's foresight and quick thinking allowed him to thwart their plans. This series of events solidified his reputation as a master swordsman.
Musashi's fame grew rapidly, and so did the respect others had for him. He wasn't just a warrior, he became a symbol of skill and cunning. Yet, despite his rising fame, Musashi knew he had much to learn. Instead of letting fame cloud his judgment, he focused on refining his skills further. Musashi's dedication to self-improvement kept him pushing forward, always seeking new challenges to hone his abilities and leave a lasting impact in the world of martial arts.
Continuing from where we left off, let's dive into Musashi's further adventures. After establishing himself in Kyoto, he traveled to Nara. There, he engaged with warrior monks renowned for their lance-fighting skills. These monks were master practitioners of Hozo-in Ryu. Musashi impressed them with his unique ability to wield two swords simultaneously, further perfecting this technique. It wasn't just about being strong. Musashi constantly sought new methods, making his style both innovative and unpredictable.
Musashi's journey didn't stop there. He eventually made his way to Edo, a bustling city teeming with skilled swordsmen. Here, he set up his own dojo, attracting a steady stream of students eager to learn from the celebrated master. News of his distinct fighting style spread far and wide. Interestingly, even the shogun heard of his prowess and extended an invitation. However, Musashi chose to decline, unwilling to be under a clan he held disdain for.
After spending some time in Edo, Musashi decided to return home to Kitsuki. It was during this journey that he had one of his most famous duels. He faced off against Sasaki Kojiro, a legendary figure known as Demon of the Western Provinces. Armed with only a wooden sword he carved himself from an oar, Musashi defeated Kojiro. This victory was not just about prestige. It was a testament to his ability to adapt, reflecting on his own techniques and learning from every encounter.
Upon his return to Kitsuki, Musashi dealt with his complicated relationship with his father, Muni. While their bond was always strained, their shared passion for martial arts connected them in subtle ways. Musashi didn't stay idle for long, as he soon found himself drawn back into the realm of warfare. When his former student Mizuno Katsunari needed his assistance in another campaign, Musashi saw it as an opportunity to contribute and once again engage in the battles he excelled in.
Building on his earlier accomplishments, Musashi's life took a quieter turn after the intense Osaka campaigns. It was during this period that Musashi decided to adopt a young boy named Mikinosuke, whose father had been a comrade of Musashi during the siege. Musashi took on the role of a mentor, teaching him the ways of the samurai. This time of relative peace allowed Musashi to settle into a simpler life in Hirafuku, where he could focus on training Mikinosuke without the constant disruptions of war.
However, Musashi's tranquility was shattered by a tragic event. As a retainer to a deceased lord, Michinosuke was obliged to commit seppuku, an act that deeply affected Musashi. The loss of Michinosuke left a profound emotional scar on him, as he had begun to think of the boy almost as his own son. Experiencing this kind of personal loss added another layer to Musashi's character and showcased the harsh realities faced by samurai during that era.
Despite this period of sadness, Musashi's life went on. After Michinosuke's passing, he adopted another son named Yori. This decision marked a new chapter for Musashi on the island of Kyushu, where he continued his legacy. There, Musashi found some peace and stability. Kyushu offered him the chance to train Iori and provide guidance, much like he had intended for Michinosuke. This phase was crucial as Musashi transitioned into a mentor role, passing on his knowledge and experiences to the next generation.
Establishing a dojo on the island brought a new sense of purpose for Musashi. His followers grew quickly because of his famous two-sword technique. Students from various places came to learn from the Grandmaster. Despite being far from the main centers of power, Musashi's reputation as a master swordsman attracted many martial arts enthusiasts. This time on Kyushu solidified Musashi not just as a fighter, but as a revered teacher, ensuring his influence would endure.
Continuing Musashi's incredible journey, let's talk about his involvement in the Heisen Rebellion. Musashi took on the important role of protecting Lord Ogasawara Tadazane's young son during the siege. This was significant because it was a testament to his unwavering loyalty and dedication. Despite his age, Musashi displayed the same bravery and skill that he had shown throughout his entire life. This experience was another stepping stone, reinforcing Musashi's standing, not just as a warrior, but as a trusted mentor.
Indeed. Following the Heisen Rebellion, Musashi received an invitation from Hosokawa Tadatoshi, the daimyo of one of the largest domains in the country. Tadatoshi wanted Musashi to move to Kumamoto and teach his retainers the art of fighting with two swords. This relocation marked a new phase in Musashi's life. A move to Kumamoto provided him with solitude, which he often found in the mountains of Iwato. This environment of peace and reflection was the perfect setting for Musashi's introspection and contemplation.
It was in the serene Iwato cave that Musashi began working on what would become his enduring masterpiece, the Book of Five Rings. He poured his soul into this work, dividing it into scrolls each named after an element: earth, fire, water, wind, and heaven. Musashi completed it in the spring of 1645. This book was more than just a guide on swordsmanship. It embodied Musashi's life philosophy and tactical brilliance, offering insights that have lasted for centuries.
Sadly, not long after completing the Book of Five Rings, Musashi's health declined. Despite his failing health, he made sure to pass on his legacy. He gave the scrolls to his top retainer, ensuring that his wisdom and teachings would live on. Musashi's passing on June 13, 1645, marked the end of an era. Yet his life's work, especially Goran no Sho, has remained influential, inspiring generations of swordsmen and strategic thinkers alike.
As we wrap up this journey through the incredible life of Miyamoto Musashi, his legacy as one of the greatest warriors ever remains strong. His contributions go beyond just his achievements in the field of battle. Musashi's techniques and philosophies continue to guide martial arts enthusiasts today. His emphasis on mindfulness and strategy has made him an enduring figure whose influence extends well beyond his own time.
And let us not forget the Mount Musashi, a place of respect for many who follow his path even today. As we conclude this exploration, we invite you to join us in sharing and celebrating Musashi's compelling story. If this narrative of courage and wisdom inspired you, don't forget to like and comment. Subscribe for more captivating stories of legendary figures just like Musashi. Thank you for listening, and let us continue to honor the amazing legacy he left behind.